Did you know that on average you can get 1095 euros back from the finance arm just by filing a tax return in Germany? More than half of the people who file get between 100 and 1000 euros back. So even if you are not obliged to submit a tax return, it's definitely worth the effort. But let's be honest, tax declaration can be intimidating. Do you need a tax consultant or should you do it yourself? And what about the tax return apps? Are they actually worth the money? I have been in your shoes. My first tax submission was with Elster, the free software from the tax office. It took me weeks just to understand how it worked. I had to use Google Translate, go through endless tax jargon, and honestly speaking, it was a nightmare. Yes, it was free, but the stress wasn't worth it. Since then, I've only used paid web apps. They might cost a little, but they save me a lot of mental energy and make the process way easier. So in this video, we'll compare some of the best tax return apps in Germany and find out which app is best for you. By the end, you'll have a clear idea of which app fits your needs and how you can maximize your tax return in Germany. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Asan, I'm a researcher, and on this channel, we discuss how to succeed financially in Germany. Let's start with the question, do you even need a tax app or software? The short answer, no. You do not. You can use Elster, the free tax software provided by the German tax office. But here's the problem. Elster isn't the most user-friendly option, and it's only available in German. That's where tax return apps come in. These apps guide you through the process with an easy-to-follow interview format. They connect to Elster for submission, but make everything more intuitive with help of tips and examples. Plus, they suggest tax deductions you might not even know about. For instance, did you know you could deduct parts of your mobile phone bill, additional rent cost, or even home office expenses? Here are the work and study item costs from Wundertax. You can either select a checkbox if your work and study equipment costs were lower than 110 euros, or you can add individual entries with the help of a drop-down menu. Even if you haven't filed taxes for the past few years, don't worry. It's often still possible to do so. Some apps even allow you to file multiple years at once, which could lead to higher refund. This is especially useful if you've recently moved to Germany and haven't been aware of the tax benefits you might be entitled to. So in this video, I will compare 5 tax softwares with each other. These are probably the most used tax software among the expat community. Now let's dive into the 5 most popular tax return apps used by expats in Germany. Keep in mind that prices, conditions, and features change over time. So I've also made a comparison guide on my website, link in the description. Also, you might ask, why have I included Smartsteuer, Steuergo, Wundertax, TaxFix, and Steuerbot in this list, and why not Wieso, Taxman, the 5-year tax software from Aldi, or one of the many other apps and softwares available? Well, these 5 are the most popular apps among the English-speaking community in Germany. Your experience might be different, and if you think there are better apps which I should include, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's start with the most important thing, and that is the cost of tax submission. Smartsteuer, TaxFix, and Steuerbot cost 39.99 euros for a tax return. Steuergo and Wundertax cost 34.99 if you file a single tax return. But for most people, it's not just about a single tax return. If you are married, then in almost all cases, it's better to file a joint tax declaration. In that case, Wundertax cost 49.99 euros, TaxFix cost 69.99 euros, while Steuerbot costs 39.99 euros. With Steuergo, you can file a joint tax declaration for the standard 34.99 euros, while Smartsteuer allows you to file 5 tax returns of the same year at the same cost of 39.99 euros. This means that you and 4 more friends can use a single registration of Smartsteuer to file a tax return. This would cost each of you about 8 euros per person. But please keep in mind that your tax information would be accessible to the person who has access to Smartsteuer. For many, this might not be a very safe thing to do, so please keep that in mind. There are also packages for multi-year submission. These give special discounts if you wish to file for multiple years at a time. Please hit the like button if you're getting value from this video and consider subscribing. Next feature is the platform. All 5 of the tax return apps are web-based, meaning that you can use these software on any browser. 4 out of 5 also have their own app on Android and iOS. Only Smartsteuer doesn't have its own dedicated app for Android or Apple. But from my experience, it is recommended that you use a desktop or a laptop to file your tax return instead of just using a mobile app. This way you can read the interesting tips and tricks provided by these apps with ease. Now, all of the tax return apps can be used without a certificate from Elster. So you do not need to register with Elster to file your tax return in Germany. Also, if you have used any of these web apps in a previous year, you can import your data without any issues. Next feature in our comparison for the best tax return software in Germany is the electronic data retrieval. With this feature, the tax program requests your data from the tax office and enters it in your tax return. This feature is only usable if you already have an account with Elster and have an Elster certificate. Only WunderTax doesn't have this feature in our list of tax return apps. The other 4 can be used to retrieve data automatically from the tax office. Next, we have investment declaration. When it comes to adding income from investments, each tax return app has its own limitations in some way or the other. Because there is a wide array of investment options, from stocks to crypto, rental income from real estate, income from sources outside of Germany, gold, the list goes on and on. If you have many investment sources, then no single tax return app would fulfill your criteria, and using a tax consultant would be the best option in your case. That said, all 5 apps do support declaration of income from stocks and crypto investing. If you use a German investing app and properly set it up, you would receive a yearly tax document from your broker. Using that, you can easily add all your stock investing information in your tax declaration. On the other hand, if you are not using a German broker, then you would need to gather your stocks and ETF information yourself, which can be a bit of a headache. For crypto investors, if your trading frequency is high, I recommend using an additional app like Coinly to get a summary document and add that info into your tax declaration. Also, if you're earning an income with freelance or self-employment activities, then Steuerbord and TaxFix would not be useful for you. But SmartSteuer, SteuerGo and WunderTax have features that allow you to add income from self-employment and freelancing. I have personally been using WunderTax since 2020 to add my self-employment income and have been very happy with its features. A feature that is often underestimated in terms of functionality is the search function, because in the tax jungle, it often happens that you are looking for specific keywords, such as mobile phone bill, and then you don't know exactly in which field to enter that information. Here, the search function can really help you to bring you directly to the right place. This feature is only available with SmartSteuer and SteuerGo. In this comparison, all the apps that have been included are very good tax return software in Germany, so you can't really go wrong with any of them. Each has its pros and cons. But one feature that I think almost all expats in Germany need in a tax return app or a software is the option of adding maintenance declaration. In simpler words, if you send money to your wife, young children, parents, grandparents, or in-laws, you can claim those costs in your tax return. In this list of the top 5 tax return apps in Germany, only SmartSteuer has the explicit option of maintenance declaration. Apps like WunderTax and SteuerGo do have fields where you can provide the tax office with any additional information regarding your tax return. But I don't think those work in every situation. For example, I use this field to add the money I sent to my parents, but according to my tax assessment, I did not file out the proper documents for those expenses to be considered, and I must file them separately in order for it to be considered. So in my opinion, it's better to use an app that explicitly has the functions and options you need. If you ask for my personal opinion, I prefer WunderTax as it fulfills my personal requirements. SteuerGo has a great search feature. TaxFix and Steuerbord are amazing solutions for people who don't have much time and have a simple case, while SmartSteuer would be a good option for people who send money back to their home country or would like to distribute the tax return costs with friends and family. If you want to support this channel, please use the links in the description to file your tax return at no additional cost to you. I'll also put discount codes so that you get the best offers possible. Click or tap here if you wish to see the step-by-step process of how to file a tax return using some of the tax return apps mentioned in this video. So thanks for watching, bleibt gesund, and I'll see you in this video.